Hi Pisces, and welcome to the Soul of Chiron Shiny Souls Cafe Astrology for July 2022. Now I've been doing all 12 of these. This is the last one. I am so done. Anyway, let me tell you about you. So I ran this chart for July 1st, 2022, and at 11:25 p.m. So late at night, Pisces is on the ascendant, and that gives us an orientation for the rest of the chart. And so if you're Pisces rising, or even if you're a Pisces Sun, you can listen to this forecast, but also if you're a Pisces Sun, listen to your forecast for your rising sign or ascendant. So recently, you have had all of this energy here in your second house with Mars, Jupiter, and Chiron. And Chiron is offering you an opportunity to heal in your personal resources, your finances, but also your value systems, your gifts and talents, using them appropriately, this sort of thing. Mars came in there, and Mars is, I'm dog sitting, sorry. Mars came in there, Mars rules Aries, and so he's kind of assertive. He's the ram, Aries is a ram, Mars is the god of war. But Aries is very assertive and can be aggressive. Even on his own, can be that way. Not always, but can be. Jupiter expands all of the Aries energy, including the assertiveness and the aggression and the pushing of one's will on others. So Aries is all about autonomy, making our own choices, being able to make our own choices. And I find it interesting that right now, the few are making choices for the many, but that's always been the case because the Supreme Court would be a few making choices for many, and they literally make choices about what the choices people can make or can act on. And so this has not been a typical run for Aries, and Jupiter is going to retrograde at the end of this month and go back into Pisces, where Neptune is, and Jupiter and Neptune rule Pisces, so that'll be a little bit easier. And of course, with Neptune in Pisces, we do have the spiritual or religious aspect of Pisces, which is also showing at the moment. And that has been brought into the Aries energy. So, you could look at this as, spiritual warriors. Yes, I made a grimace at that. And I'm a Pisces, I'm very spiritual, but there is a difference between being spiritual and being dogmatic and assuming that everyone should follow your dogma. And so there's where the rub is. I think we're being shown that in stark reality. And so, since I am a Pisces, I just had to put that out there. Several planets are going to move signs this month, and several are going to retrograde. The full moon is going to take place from 21. The moon will be in Capricorn up here at 21 Capricorn, and the sun will be here for the full moon at 21 Cancer. And that is from the house of self-expression, creative identity, and the house of social groups and networks that you belong to. So you do have an opportunity to express yourself this month, and you have an audience out here that's going to be hearing you and responding emotionally. That being said, make sure that what you are sending out, because this 11th house also is involved with the internet and mass communications and all that stuff. Make sure what you're sending out is what you mean to send out. Make sure that what people receive is actually what you meant to convey. And you know, we really shouldn't be pushing our ideas on others. So even in this, I try to remain somewhat neutral, no matter what my own opinions are. So the other planets that are going to move are Mercury is going to move through Cancer in about 13 days and move into Leo. Venus is going to move into Cancer the day before Mercury moves out. Mars is going to move into Taurus. So there'll be a lot of activity for Pisces around perceptions and understanding, and you may get some real work done, because having that added energy in Taurus will help you to solidify our ground or find value in your ideas. And so that would be good, but don't burn yourself out. You know, with Mars and the activity of Mars, it could be easy to burn yourself out. Right now, Mars is at a square to Pluto. And squares with Pluto, Mars square Pluto, is not an easy energy to process. Mars represents kind of our ego will, while Pluto represents our soulful will, and squares are friction. And so for our ego will and our soulful will to not be integrated so that they are causing friction, because if they were integrated, there wouldn't be any friction. They would both be working towards the same goal or ambition. But in this case, they're working towards different goals and ambitions. So let me explain a little bit about why that might be. Mars is in the house of personal resources, and Pluto is in the house of social networks. So personal resources, social networks. It could be that you are having difficulty addressing a request or a need for the many on your personal resources. And I've had some experience myself with this lately, so I certainly understand it, and had not seen it until I just looked at it, so that's interesting. But we have this desire to, you know, make a name for ourselves and be out there and be noticed by a large group or humanity or whatever the case may be. But that takes personal resources. For you to be noticed, you have to put your time, your energy, your money, you have to use your gifts and talents and all of these things that make you who you are. One of the things that this also represents is your values. And so how do your values, your personal values, align with social values and the social norm? And so you could be having difficulty in any of those areas, and need to create or find a creative solution or resolution to the issue. When Venus goes into Cancer, there will be a lot more pleasantness in your life than there is in the kind of dry, airy feeling of Gemini. Now, Mercury rules Gemini, and so Mercury is perfectly happy there sharing information. But Venus would like a little more actual contact. Does that make sense? It's not a cerebral sign, although it does rule a cerebral sign. It's a sign of relationships. So again, it likes that one-on-one kind of, it doesn't want to be alone over there in Gemini with just the two different sides of the brain talking to each other. It wants to be in relation to someone. So Cancer will feel better for Venus. Mercury will first allow us to give voice to our emotional state. And we have all had many shifting emotions over the last few weeks. So Mercury will help us understand those emotions. Then Mercury will move on into Leo, and Leo is the king, queen, or court gesture. So expect some opportunity to voice those that experience those emotions, or what you think, what you feel, in a way that puts you in the center of things. And that's not a very comfortable place for Pisces to be, but um, we there are occasions and there are times when even a Pisces needs to stand up and be recognized for um, what they're doing or what they're saying. Pisces tend to work in the background and not really have that much of a ego or a drive for, or a lot of ambitions, but outwardly focused that people would notice. Now, they have tons of ambition and tons of goals, but they're usually not touting them from the rooftops. And even in this case, you won't be, because that's not you. But there's a happy in between. Don't be embarrassed that people are paying attention, or don't concern yourself that people are paying attention to what you're saying. It's okay for people to pay attention to what you're saying. The sun will move into Leo on the 22nd. So, we talked about Mercury going in there on the 18th, and then the sun is going to go in Leo. So what's going to happen is the sun is going to change positions just before the two planets oppose Pluto. And when the sun and Mercury change positions, then Mercury is going to enter Leo first, and then the sun will enter Leo. And so again, there will be that time when you may feel as if the focus is on you, and that's okay. Just as I said before, just make sure that what you're putting out there is truly your values and is true for you. And then who can fault you for that, right? So at the end of the month, Chiron, not at the end, that's actually Chiron going retrograde on the 19th. So that's just after Mercury enters Leo. Chiron is going to go retrograde over here in Aries. And that'll give you an opportunity. So Chiron has been in Aries, helping you to focus on your resources, and it can be financial. So to help you heal and get those resources more in alignment with your values. And so on the 19th, Chiron is going to go retrograde in Aries in your second house. And then Jupiter on the 28th is going to go retrograde in your second house of personal resources. And it's going to move back into Pisces. Now that'll take several months, and we'll talk about that as the year goes on. But just know that the dynamic, the level of energy that you've been working with here in the second house is going to slow down. It's going to give you a chance to breathe. And that's okay. That's a good thing. But Mars will be here as third house, helping your mind to just whiz away, and giving you lots of extra energy there. Saturn will be moving into Pisces in 2023. So that is something to actually look forward to. It will give you some stability and some grounding. I know that Saturn gets a bad rap. He's retrograde right now, so he's kind of holding off. And it may be just so you can get this other stuff out of the way. But Saturn is a good thing. Saturn gives us the foundation, the structure. You heard in that movie, build it and they will come kind of thing. Saturn's that, build it and they will come. Saturn never leaves you without reward for the hard work you've done while he's been there. So don't hesitate to welcome Saturn when he comes across the cusp of your first house. Okay, so I believe we have just about covered all of the highlights for July, and I thank you for listening, Pisces. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments below. If you would like to schedule an appointment or have a question or comment you would rather not leave on the public site, please email me via my website, soulofchiron.com. And I have especially enjoyed seeing you this month. Thank you. Bye bye.